just making very small changes to the way that you make a case or present a proposal or request of someone can oftentimes lead to very big differences in your persuasive success. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that, and clearly keyed to our new book, The Small Big. But I thought I'd start out actually by telling you a story. I love this story. It concerns the late Lord Grade of Elstree, a British peer who tells the story, or used to tell the story of a young man who came to his office one day seeking employment. The story goes that Lord Lou would be sitting at his desk, smoking his fifth Havana of the day. It was, after all, around 7:30 in the morning. And he, for a few moments, stared menacingly at this young man who was sitting the opposite side of the desk, before standing up and placing on the desk between them a large jug of water. And then he looked at this young man and he said, "Young man, I've been told that you're quite the persuader. So sell me this jug of water." Undaunted, this young man got up. He went to the corner of the room where there was a waste paper basket full to brimming. He picked it up and brought it back to the desk and placed it next to the jug of water, and then lit a match, dropped it into the waste paper basket, and waited for a few moments until the flames had reached an impressive and perhaps rather anxiety-inducing level, and then turned round and said to the peer, "Is his lordship interested in buying a jug of water?" Now, the story is entertaining, but I think it's also instructive when we think about influence and persuasion, because there are many approaches that that young man could have taken to convince his counterpart. He could have, for example, provided some information or tried to sell this jug of water by considering the features and the benefits of the jug of water. He could have used an economic argument and thought about how he might provide some monetary incentive or motivation in order to persuade his audience. But instead what he did was pull on another lever of the influence process, not the informational motivation, not the economic motivation, but a change in context, an environmental motivation, that small shift, which incidentally, if you think about it, did nothing to change what was on offer. He simply made that small shift in environment that led to that change in behavior. And that's the case that I'd like to make when it comes to influence and persuasion, particularly successful influence and persuasion. Increasingly, in this information overloaded world that we actually live in, what we're finding now, particularly these last 2 decades of persuasion science, is that contexts will frequently trump cognitions when it comes to successful influence and persuasion. And sometimes all that requires you to do as a communicator is to make very small, often subtle changes to the way that you make a proposition or proposal that link to deep-seated motivations inherent in all of us. In fact, one of the things that this body of research suggests is something rather surprising. It's this idea that whilst there may be many tens of thousands of different ways in which we can successfully influence and persuade others through the use of tactics or changes, the vast majority of most successful influence and persuasion can be categorized in terms of just 3 core motivations. Those core motivations are that in this increasingly information overloaded world, we want to make quick and efficient decisions. We want to also make decisions in ways that affiliate us with others and gain the approval of others. And finally, we want to make decisions and behave in ways that allow us to be seen in the best possible and positive light. So the claim that I have here, and the claim that we make in this book, is by thinking about influence in the context of these 3 core motivations and aligning your request or your strategy or your proposal or proposition to one or more of these, can significantly enhance your success.